Hebrews 7. Hebrews 7. Melchizedek returned from the slaughter of the kings and blessed Abraham. For this Melchizedek, King of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham while returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him. Melchizedek means the interpretation of Melchizedek means King of Righteousness. It's like Jesus, King of Righteousness. And he was the King of Salem. The Salem means peace, kind of like Shalom, Salem, Shalom. Melchizedek was the King of Righteousness, and he was the King of Salem, which means the King of Peace. And Jesus is the King and the Prince of Peace and the King of Righteousness. So Melchizedek had like the same names as Jesus, but he wasn't no Jesus. Only Jesus can save you. Melchizedek can't save anybody. Only Jesus can save you. Amen. Okay. The reason I'm doing this, because I wanted to check out the slaughter. Yeah. I wanted to see Melchizedek slaughter all the kings, because he was a king of righteousness and a king of peace. So what made a king of righteousness and a king of peace go out and slay all the other kings? It was because they were like Sodom and Gomorrah. They were Sodom and Gomorrah, and the king of righteousness and the king of peace. He slaughtered the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's what's getting ready to happen right now. The United States has turned into Sodom and Gomorrah. And Jesus, the King of righteousness and the King of peace, is going to come with some wrath and slaughter the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, like the abomination of desolation. So let's just check this out real quick.
Hebrews 7. For this Melchizedek, King of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation King of Righteousness, and after that also King of Salem, which is King of Peace, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days, nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth the priest continually. Hebrews 7. For this Melchizedek, King of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation King of Righteousness, and after that also King of Salem, which is King of Peace, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days, nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth the priest continually.
Okay, now let's go to Genesis 14. Okay, now we go over here to Genesis 14.
Genesis 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Ellasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinar, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar.
Zoroaster.
Genesis 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Ellasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinar, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zazims in Ham, and the Emims in Shaveh Kerathaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, that dwelt in Hazazon Tamar.
Remember the Amalekites. The Amalekites are the ones that they will attack you when you come out of Egypt. The Amalekites, when you come out of Egypt and come into righteousness to Jesus, you'll be attacked by the Amalekites on your way out of Egypt.
And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same as Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer the king of Elam, and with Tidal king of nations, and Amraphel king of Shinar, and Arioch king of Ellasar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain.
Did you hear that? The vale of Siddim was the Salt Sea, or the Dead Sea. I'm sure they're talking about the Dead Sea in Israel. It's like full of salt and all kind of stuff. But look, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and they fell in slime pits in the Salt Sea or the Dead Sea. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell into slime pits at the Dead Sea.
And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek king of Salem brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God. Forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. Him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek king of Salem brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldst say, I have made Abram rich. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, Let them take their portion.
Abraham said he didn't want nothing from the king of Sodom, because if Abraham would have took something from the abomination, the king of Sodom, then the king of Sodom would have been bragging about how rich he made Abraham. Abraham was rich in God. He didn't need the devil's money. You can keep the devil's money. I'll take Jesus' riches any day. You can keep the manna. You can keep the devil's manna. I'll take the manna from heaven. You can keep that filthy lucre. You can keep that filthy lucre. Let's have some fun in the word, that's all. Melchizedek. Oh yeah, I want to look up something. Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam. I went to this college called Elam. I want to see what this name means. The king Chedorlaomer. Let's see what that means. What's it mean in Hebrew? It means a handful of sheaves. Or it could mean Ugartic, whatever that means. What's it mean? Or it could end Ugartic or two. Chedorlaomer, however you pronounce it, it means dark, turbulent warfare. Dark, turbulent warfare. I'll show it to you. In Gartic, whatever that is. The Hebrew name in Gartic. That's how you pronounce it right there. But it means dark, turbulent warfare. Anybody in some dark, turbulent warfare? And the King of righteousness and the King of peace is going to come save you from that dark, turbulent warfare. And he's going to slay the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. And they're going to fall into some dirty old slime pits. The King of Sodom and Gomorrah is going to slip and slide into some slime pits in the Dead Sea when the King of righteousness gets through with them. And Chedorlaomer, L-A-O-M-R, Chedorlaomer. Sounds kind of French. It's like you gotta roll that last R right there on the end. You just roll the M and the R together like Chedorlaomer. Sound like all Frenchy. Just having some fun in the word. Don't get mad. Melchizedek. God said you are a Cohen forever, to be compared with Melchizedek. Adonai has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a Cohen forever after the order of Melchizedek.